NECA's all-new Donatello sewer lab thingy comes fully loaded with so many goodies. Look around. There are so many goodies. But it's not quite as it seems. There are some issues, some things break, and some things need to be completed. So stick around and let's enjoy this laboratory together. Join me today as we go deep underground in Donatello's lab. I'm gonna have to review this thing in a totally different spot, so I'll head over there now. Join me. Here we are. Look at this big old thing. This is massive. I'm in a new space altogether, and I don't know how this is gonna go, but let's make the best of it. So big old fat box. I love this. I love the artwork. This has gotta be Aaron that's doing this artwork, right? I think I've already seen that on social media, but look at, I mean, for scale, my hand, look at this. Beep, beep, boop, boop. I'm an idiot. All right, so that's enough of the front of the box. Let's check out the sides. You got some shots of the product, which is pretty standard to see that stuff. All of these kind of generic things from the cartoon. Back of the box, good golly. Let's see if we can get a little closer. The great thing is at the top of it, it tells you everything that's included. So you can read that, or you can just open it and pretend like you know what everything is called. Here you go, and they have the newest version of the Turtles in here. So this is like that VHS style with the dark matte finish. Lots of goodies that we probably don't get. Yeah, because you got to buy these things all separately with the figures. So this is going to be interesting to see how we can put this together. So that, I guess that's a potion maker thingy, and it probably tells us up there. Anyway, other side of the box, imagine that. More shots of the Dio. And top of the box, which is where this lovely handle is. And by the way, it's packaged very nicely with bubble wrap. And bottom of the box, that's where you get all of the people involved. So Thomas is crushing it, man. He's even getting to do the big old sewer layer, which I think we knew, but that means he's done all the goodies on the inside, I guess, right? And the tips on the inside flap to tell you basically how all these parts are gonna work. So it does have interchangeable bits. We kind of saw this on display and in the advertisement that you get the shelf walls, but you also get blank walls that you can swap out, which is nice because the previous sewer layer, they were glued in. Well, that's a lot of stuff packed in there. It's actually a little looser than I thought. It didn't feel like it was wobbling around there, but there's a lot of space. I'll tell you right now, if there's anything that makes you feel like a kid again, it's having all of these huge parts and huge box. Makes you feel tiny, like a little baby boy again. All of this plastic smells like my friendship with Mad Hatter. Toxic. All right, for you inbox collectors, this has to be a nightmare. You might as well just collect boxes only. However, here's a bunch of the pieces sticking out, but I want to show off how well this is packaged inside the plastic. Now, there was a layer on top of this, so sandwiched in there, but look at that. Look at how fun that is as a display. Really like the details and the coloring so far. And I think in live streams and talking about this in the past, I complained about the lack of black outlines. And while a lot of that is still there, I guess in all fairness, the backgrounds of the animations didn't really have black outlines. Anyway, let's take this stuff out of here. Look at this beauty of a piece. Now, here are the things that you can use to replace the sidewalls, so you can kind of build a different sewer layer, or if you're trying to connect it to the other one. So obviously, it's going to be a better layout to have the regular sewer layer off to the side here, so you could just swap that out. The angles and where all the original rooms are, I don't know. There is a Japanese map on the internet that kind of tells you, but the nice thing is that these do come out unlike the original sewer layer. So if you have that one, these things were like glued in, which is crazy to me. And you may be aware, if you have a different sewer layer, you can see there's like holes in the side bricks like this one here. Unfortunately, those replaceable bricks don't come out. And there are random bricks like this one right here you can't get out that are also glued in there. So if you wanted to like mix and match parts from the different layers, I don't think that you could really do that. A big part of the original sewer layer are the pipes that hang from the ceiling. This one does not have them. So the rest of the tooling goes into like replacing parts like this, the side, and then the back wall. So no pipes, but we get a lot of other parts. Looking at the details of this stuff, I mean, I'm in love with these little mechanical parts. I mean, look at this. There's nice paintwork here. It's just maybe not as ideal as some people would want. I think like originally I said that I would love to have the black outlines, but it's cool that these things are functioning. It would be nice if that was like a little light up feature. I kind of don't know why that isn't the case, because it is a light bulb in the animation. And then considering the back of the design, which is all made up. So good job, Thomas, on considering that, which you didn't even have to do. And we'll have to figure out the positioning of all this stuff, but there aren't instructions to tell you where each individual piece goes. There's just a picture. You get this piece here, which is like just a random, I don't know, a converter, a power inverter, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure this is probably actually named on the box, but these plastic, look at this. You can change these things to whatever you want. So it doesn't have to be the full length. If you're wanting to get some more playtime out of this thing, you could certainly mess around with that. And this piece here, which is going to go on the right side of the wall, and it has a couple peg pieces, some holes, and the switch, so you can turn things on or off. If you have an imagination, you can have playtime. And this pipe piece here, which should be connecting to the bottom of that part we just looked at, and it also has the removable little peggy things, which is pretty fun. And this is going to go on the left side wall, and it has a lot of details as well. You can see all of the coloring here, and I think it kind of looks like this stuff could come apart, but maybe not. Don't really want to mess with that. And this little kind of monitor looking piece, so these are going to peg into the wall, and some more of those sectional piping things. So far, so good. I do feel like I'm probably gonna have to rearrange something to get all these things together, because I don't know what plugs into what until we look at it. We got this pipe here, which has just sculpting detail. It's all gray, no crazy details. I mean, little bolts and stuff. It has the peg on the back here. It's gonna go on top. And this is going to go in the bottom left corner, plugged into all those pipes. So you got some nice sculpt detail, a little bit of paint, nothing too wild, and then this one peg. Up next, we have this piece, which is going to plug into the bottom of this thing over on the right side and then sit on the shelf, which is pretty fun. Now, these things rotate so you can get a flat layout, which is helpful. Oh, I just broke it. Well, it's not supposed to rotate, but I guess mine was already weak in the box, and it just felt like it was supposed to rotate, and then it broke. How much is this thing again? Now, since those things felt like they were going to rotate, they definitely need to rotate, because this one doesn't want to sit on the shelf flat. This is already a nightmare. Up next, we got the big bad boy, the kind of the highlight, really, I think, probably of the whole set so far, which is pretty highly detailed as far as the coloring and the paintwork. Sculpt work is nice. It feels very flimsy right here. It's a very, very thin piece of plastic, so that is a little worrisome. I would definitely be careful when posing this thing. The rest of the joints seem to be okay. Like, this one's pretty solid. It doesn't move on the back joint, so you just have this one, the scary one in the middle, and that is it. And it was upside down. You got this giant peg and the little baby peg, which needs to plug in here. I don't know if the last sewer was like this. I don't think so. The last sewer, wasn't this like a hard piece of plastic? This is foam. Like, you can squish it. That was very unexpected. You got the workbench, which actually has functioning drawers, and no, there's nothing in there, but you could put whatever hopes and dreams you want, which, if they're like my hopes and dreams, it's already filled to the brim. I mean, it's empty. Sculpt work is nice. There's very little paint on this. It seems more like this is cast in plastic and then these are painted blue. And you get this little bit of detail here on the side, but that's about it. So let's stick it on the wall. Boom. And then you get this, which is just a little stool, I guess. I should have read the bottom of that box or the top of it. Anyway, they show it as being right here, which is why I think it's a stool. And you get the portable generator in compact form. So if you already have Donatello's portable generator, you can stick that into the sewer layer, but then you have this one as the compacted version. So you can just like that. But the details are nice. It's basically what we've seen with the other one, but in compact form. And we're down to our last little chunks of stuff. So we have this one, which again, it kind of looks like it has a light, but it's just background crap from the show. So it's very plain and it matches the look of the show. Designed to go there with that angled piece. And then you have these two, which really are just, it's just shelf junk, and you can really put it wherever you want. I don't think there was anything specific that said that it went on that wall or that wall. The way NECA has it in their box art, did I move this thing? Oh my God, what happened? The way NECA has it set up is this one is gonna go here, kind of hangs over the shelf. So maybe that way, I don't know. whatever. And then this piece, which is going to go on the top. Or you can put it on the side or have it on the table. You can do whatever you want because nobody tells you how to live your life but you. But there you go. It's all set up. All of the goodies are in there except for this one final piece, the table. Every good mechanic or lab dude or smart brain person needs a functioning table, a workspace. So you can see there's a little bit of paint work on there. I just touched the mic. I'm sure that came across great. Some nice paint work on there, which does kind of lend itself to that old style of the show, but it seems sturdy enough. And then you put it where you want. How about that? That's where I want it. Or maybe that's where I want it. So there you go, folks. A fully built sewer layer. However, there is one thing that's missing drastically from this whole set. Oh, wait. Before we get there, this. You get a street scene topper. So you got this, which is probably hard to get on camera. You get this big puddle of nastiness. You got some sewer stuff. You got street with some plants coming through it. I can't get it. Then you got different pieces to kind of add some detail. So if you have a street scene, you put this on top of your sewer, and then you put the street scene on top of this. Nice look. The design itself is really fun. You just stick it there, which they do bow over time, so I don't know. It's nice to have. And now it's nice and dark. You need lights, obviously. So it is a kind of complicated setup depending on how you're trying to build your street or your sewer layer or Donatello's lab. But the thing that I was talking about that I said it wasn't complete yet, let me show you how to complete it. I have several inserts to go behind these sewer holes. So I got a couple new ones. I'm excited to show those off, but we got the classic ones. But we have classic ones and a few other designs that have been out since the old sewer layer. Let's check these things out. And to apply these things, I honestly just use a little bit of tacky stuff. You can use tape or whatever you prefer, and you just kind of pinch it here to the top on the back side here. And I designed these things wide enough that you actually have some playroom. So if, depending on which part of the design you want to show off, you can just slide it around. And it fits obviously on any side of it. You take some of this and just tack it. Since we have Donatello's lab, it kind of only makes sense to include this one, which I believe my memory serves me. I mean, it was inspired by a couple images. Pretty sure it was Donatello's Bad Time episode, but it's drawn in two different ways throughout the episode. This is intended to go specifically like this, not slide around, but you kind of get the idea. So you got your Turtle Van garage, stay out with a little door handle. And the final new piece that I'm most excited about, this design here. So you got a sneak peek of the kitchen. Now this is intended to kind of be from an angle that you never really see the show. It's usually the camera's coming from that side. I wanted to show off something from the kitchen. And again, you can just kind of slide it around to find the sweet spot that works best for you. So you can have a lot more of the kitchen table, or you can show off a combination. That's my preferred setup. So now you got the kitchen, you got a Donatello's lab, and you kind of got it all pieced together. I'm gonna put the rest on the screen because I don't have them cut out, but we have the sewer, generic sewer. We've got the garage, which is new, and we got the kitchen, which is new. We've got the mousers, we've got the closet, and then finally we have the training room. Honestly, this is a beautiful setup, and seeing it in person is substantially nicer than seeing images on the internet. So I am thankful to have this thing. Yeah, it was pricey, but I felt like the pieces you got out of here were a little bit nicer. Now, if you want to put your sewer layer together because maybe you don't have the first one, obviously maybe don't put all these things in there, but you can buy some furniture from Icon 3D Labs, and I showed this off in a live stream. Beautiful work, nice line art, and they have indentions there so that their shells actually sit on the couch, which is nice. And then you can do a chair for Splinter, which is also really nice, and it includes this hole so he can sit in there properly, which is actually a great consideration. And then they have the coffee table, which looks like this, very nicely done, beautiful matte finish, wood texture, and then the little end table or coffee table, which looks like that. So beautiful work from them. If you need to complete a lab, or not a lab, a normal sewer layer, there you go. Links are in the description to Icon 3D Labs and to my inserts. And I also have these available, which are going to go onto the end caps. Now this was just a trial one, so the edges are a little rough, but I measure these things out so you can actually have the cutouts. You just take a little extra tacky stuff, put it on the corners and stick it in there. So there you go, look at that. And of course, it does work well with the inserts that I have for the holes. And this is available for the left and the right side. You could choose whether you want this to be just a black cover or if you want the hole cut out. So there is the other side, and then if you just want a black hole, or rather filled in. And alternatively, I have this generic cutout, which also fits into that spot and then just has some fun little Easter eggs and details. So there you go. Alternative ways to cover these ugly end caps to fill the holes. What are you gonna do for your lab? Are you gonna buy some end caps, some sewer holes, or some 3D printed parts? Overall, am I satisfied? Yes, I am satisfied. I just wish that their customer service was better. Come on, NECA, you can do better. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, then click the top link over there, and thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.